Why didn't other Americans try to stop the imprisonment of 120,000 innocent Japanese Americans during World War II? Why weren't German Americans and Italian Americans also imprisoned? Why didn't we fight harder for our rights? She worried this could happen again. She worried about her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. After her death, I discovered a metal box under her bed. It was stuffed with various documents and my dad's wallet. He had died a few years earlier. In his wallet, I was startled to find a meal pass and a work pass from Amachi, the camp where my parents were incarcerated. To answer the questions raised by my parents, we headed to the camps. The camps were built in extremely remote areas and in deserts or swamps. We learned of the horrible conditions there: dust storms, freezing barracks, soaring heat, smelly latrines, rattlesnakes, and coyotes. We learned of young orphans locked up if they had one drop of Japanese blood. We learned how the incarcerees found inspiration and their voice through art, through writing, through legal battles, and through protests. And we learned that the incarcerees did fight for their rights, sometimes facing brutal consequences. As we wandered through the camps, we could feel the overwhelming sense of isolation and sadness of those imprisoned there. We captured those memories through photographs of the landscape, artifacts, and buildings left behind.
Sandy's mom asked, why didn't others speak up for Japanese Americans? That was my question too. I learned that a few did. White neighbors who helped look after Sandy's grandparents' farm. A civil rights attorney who stopped thousands of deportations of Japanese Americans. A white mayor in Arkansas who after the war worked hard to preserve the memory of the camps so future generations would learn. I thought it was important for people to know that simple acts of courage and generosity can make a difference. I also thought it was important for people to understand what happens when people don't protest. I met Hiroshi Shimizu, who told me how US authorities tried to deport his family and how they beat up his father, a San Francisco journalist.
We chose the title for the book, Show Me the Way to Go to Home, after seeing it etched on a wall in the jail at Tule Lake incarceration camp. It may be a misquote of a song that was popular back then, but it's also a sentiment we heard often, that families just wanted to go home. And I believe my parents, through their questions and keepsakes, were trying to show their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren the way to go to home.